Hey, this is Philip. We're going to do week 9. We had 3 characteristic traits that we had to tie to some black writers and some of the works that we read. First, going to go over the word performativity. It's the first time I've ever come across this word, and it's kind of a interesting word, an interesting term. It's an interdisciplinary term often used to name the capacity of speech and gestures to act or consummate an action or to construct or perform an identity. It is a process by which an expression produces results real in and of itself. So it's kind of tying just the whole message you're conveying with gestures, your speech, and how you act and perform as a whole, like concrete identity. It's constructed by performative actions, behaviors, gestures. However, these acts are not performed by lone individuals, but demonstrated in a larger social context. It problematizes notions of intention and agency. It complicates, it'll kind of muddy up gender and its subjects. I know this isn't a fictional work that we're supposed to. I'll get to the one I chose later. Sorry about the dog behind me. That's Mika there. She's crazy. Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna go over Richard Pryor first. He reading the article that was posted on the internet from the professor. Richard Pryor's fuck it all period. He tried to get out of the box that white history placed him in. This was a big changing point in his style, I guess. He showed his personal struggle to purge himself from the Vegas Hollywood talk show, and this was eating away at him. He wanted to forge his own uncharted path. So if we look in the context of Pryor, it's still not as, not that we don't have issues today, but there are definitely more issues back then. He wanted to be more identified as a black man and get away from how white society or what his market was looking for. He wanted to find his own identity, and that ties into the history a little bit and the conformity. I read Battle Royale or Battle Royal years ago, and a lot of the performivity and pretty much the whole thing is illustrated in the narrator's speech when he urges blacks to accept social responsibility without social equality. The narrator was his quote was whitewashed and chastised for his view of America as it was seen through the lens of white America. So we're coming to the same thing that's tied into Pryor is a certain identity might be felt by these individuals, but what America was at the time, because this was written in 1952. 1952 had all sorts of fun stuff going on. KKK was huge at the time. I was reading a couple articles from that era, like there's threats of lacking federal funding if segregation was applied. It just is a tumultuous time, and it was kind of in the up. You had Martin Luther King later on. That was still 15 years before his assassination, so it was a lot of angst going on at the time, and that's why this piece is seen as such an angst-filled piece. And then you see another thing in there that the grandfather stated, "For life is a war, and that I have been a traitor all my days. Live your head in the lion's mouth," stating that the grandpa, unlike the parents of the narrator in the work, he wanted to have people assume their own identity, their own black identity. So it's interesting to tie this to when it was written. That's, I think, my favorite part of reading any of these works is initially right after I read it, I'll admit it, I don't understand it, and then I go directly to the historical significance of it, and it really ties a lot. It makes these pieces a lot more interesting. But that's all I got for this week. Hope everyone's doing well, and best of luck with the paper, and have a good one. Thank you.